Good morning. I am Dr. Giridhar from India. My topic is rooftop rainwater harvesting for recharging shallow groundwater. So we start the outline of the presentation start from the basics of water resources because it is a heterogeneous group, and we also see what is the basic need of the rainwater harvesting. Then we'll see what are the various components of the rainwashing. That's all basics. Then what are the various types of rainwater harvesting. And because of the need, we have taken a case study in our university campus. I work in the Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad. And we'll see what is the objectives, why we have taken that study. Then we'll see what is the scope of the artificial recharge. So we know the natural recharge is happening earlier days, and we are going for now it is artificial recharge. That is what is the artificial recharge and why you have taken that study we will discuss. What is the baseline details in our campus before starting up this artificial recharge. So because it is on rooftop rainwater harvesting, what is the total built up area available along with the land use, land cover details using the geomatic technologies. Then it is what are the proposed structures in the campus. Then also we use the advanced technology in the remote sensing and GIS to speed up the work even if it is a larger area. Then what is the after construction of all these structures and harvesting the rainwater, after filtration and recharging into the underground artificially, either into the deeper aquifers or shallow aquifers, or it is a confined and unconfined aquifers, what is the impact because of the artificial recharge of rainwater into the underground with respect to the quality and quantity. That's what I am going to present it. All of us know water is the driver of the life. So what is indisciplined for life and more so for man? The need for water is felt more and more for better living in modern times and modern cities. So world's water is, these are the statistics, and out of all it is 97% in ocean. So 3% is available. Again it is most of the water is in the form of ice. So it is all the demand is increasing day by day. So we are going to face a water scarcity level in maybe 2050 most of the countries. So agriculture sector is the largest user of water resource. Almost available water, it is 80% is useful for agriculture purpose. So only 12% of the rainwater is being used in our country out of all available water. The rest flows into sea. So this is the need for rainwater harvesting in the campus. And only 10% of the surface water and 90% of the groundwater are being used for the drinking purposes. So it's, then what is the solution for this? So only instead of going waste all the water into the sea, rainwater harvesting is the solution. It is a freely available, and it is a purest form in the nature, and it is the basic source for all other forms of water. You take any form of water, maybe atmospheric water, soil water, underground water, lake water, sea water, stored water. The basic source is rainwater. So if it is available freely on the top of the building, in the campus, so we can harvest it, do filter it properly, then use it for our purposes, or recharge if it is anything excess than the use. So the first we have to harvest it, then filter it properly if any sediments are there, then store it because the rainy days may be 40-50 days in a year. So we have to store it and use for remaining all 300 days. Then you can use it, all the stored water after filtration, after proper storing without any generation of algae and other parameters. If it any excess, then recharge into the underground. That recharge maybe you can recharge into confined aquifers or unconfined aquifers. So why it is rainwater harvesting is the best option, and rainwater harvesting system is practically used for prehistoric period from this one. This is the simple and economically viable technology. It is very simple technology, and it is economic wise it is very simple also. It is not costly, and it suits for all over the world, and it is especially suitable for Indian climatic conditions and rainfall days. We need to keep in our mind rainfall days is maximum 40 to 50 days. So we have to plan for in such a way that we need to store that water, and we have to plan to use the 365 days in a year. So rainwater falling over terrace or roof can be collected and stored, otherwise it goes into the sea through rivers. So rainwater is the purest form of water. This is the one thing we need to remember in our mind. Water is another form of water, we have to clean it, filter it, but rainwater is the purest form and we have to do minimum filtration. It is the primary source of water, and other sources are depend on the rainfall. Rainwater harvesting should be viewed with a positive attitude, then only we can harvest it and use it. All these are the benefits. So we harness the good quality water resource now which was being wasted. A lot of scope is there for rainwater harvesting to augment the expensive piped water supply. So So whenever there is a water supply given by the municipalities, corporations, if you depend on the rainwater and if you don't depend on piped supply, so piped supply system cost may reduce. To save expenditure on water, instead of purchasing the packaged water, you can store the rainwater which is available freely in front of you. To prevent soil erosion and urban flooding, most of the urban area now we are converting from pervious layer to impervious layer. It is leading to more urban flooding and leads to more soil erosion. Inexpensive and it is very simple technology. Aids ecological conservation also, it is more concerned now. To prevent groundwater depletion, if you store the rainwater and use it our purposes, we no need to depend more on rainwater. We have to depend on rainwater, groundwater, but no need to depend 365 days, at least on rainy days you can store it, and if it is water is available, you can extend it further days so that you can prevent groundwater depletion. There are many number of advantages are there. I given a small list here. There are two types of classification. One is the land-based, means water falling other than the roofs. When it is falling other than the roofs, it consists of more sediment and it requires more filtration. And if it is the water is on the rooftop based, it is more or less it is a clean, and if you maintain the rooftop very clean, so water coming from the rooftop is nearly clean, 90% clean and all. So these are the various methods of the rainwater harvesting. I am not going in detail, and these are the components of it. So maintain the catchment area clean before rainwater during the rainy season, so that you will get the pure quality of water. And it is a conveyance system, depends on your catchment, you need to design the conveyance system. Then put the first rain separator. If at all if it is a drinking water supply, if you are using for, then first water may be consists of little gases. So put the first rain separator, and we have automatic first rain separators are available. No need to operate the valves. You can put it with respect to time or with respect to quantity. Automatically the first rain separator separates from the main flow, then goes into the filter unit. Then after filter unit to store it, then go for a delivery system, then usage or recharge. So you have to give a provision to use it, and if it is excess, you need to have a provision to recharge into the underground aquifers. So these are the components, and this is the collection area, whether it is a rooftop, flat top, or it is a sloped one, you can use it. If it is a different types, different orientations, we can use it. So with all these basic analysis, we understand what is the need of the rainwater harvesting, and we have taken a case study in our university. As I explained already, I am working in Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University located in Hyderabad, India. We have taken a study to harvest the rainwater, use it for our purposes, and then if it is in excess, recharge into the underground. This is the objective of the work we have taken, and I am going to present it. So we studied the traditional rainwater harvesting structures available in the literature. We found there are a lot of maintenance issues. So we found in our research, we reduced the maintenance cost, and it is nearer to zero. Instead of a sand on the top layer, we have gone for advanced filtration, that is a geotextile membrane with a 120 micron size. All the particles greater than 120 micron size is settling on the top of the membrane, and it is it is very easy to clean it. So this is all the research we have done. Then these are the objectives. In our campus, we have any campus rather, you can take it as a large rooftop area is available. When the collection area is more, your quantity of water coming is more, you can store more water. The campus is located in the Hyderabad, and it is more useful for demonstrative purposes. Because the funding we have received from the Central Groundwater Board, Ministry of Water Resources, India, and they said it is you need to go for a demonstrative purposes. So we have taken the Hyderabad, and it is central capital of the state, and it is available in the center of the city. And we are running MTech, MSc and PhD courses, and it is useful for our students as a live demonstration as they are learning the theory. They can see it is they can do lots of field experiments and field demonstration experiments for their research activity for students. To conduct regular training programs to the public, nearby colonies and villages, village presidents, to disseminate the information about the significance of artificial recharge activities. It is a part of the project. We are trying to disseminate the information to all the local people, and to harvest, store and reuse for drinking, domestic purposes, gardening purposes in the campus. To recharge excess water from the storage sumps into the ground through the recharge pits and shops. So we are not going directly recharge pits, we are going for a concept of reverse tube wells. Water after filtration in the recharge charge pits, directly we are injecting into the underground aquifers without taking much time, so that we can avoid the space limitations. To encourage farm rainwater harvesting so as to harvest the rainfall falling other than the rooftop area within the campus, here when you use this type of technology, the cost of the structure is less and you will get the more rainfall, but it consists of a little sediment. We need to filter it, then only you can recharge it. To prepare the reports and disseminate it to the public and to various government agencies about the new activities and innovative activities what we have done in our university. So to monitor and record the groundwater level fluctuations in the observation wells on daily basis using automatic water level recorders. So we need to study and we need to find out what is the impact of the artificial recharge. So we focused on quality as well as on quantity. So we observed daily water levels in the bore wells within the impact area, outside the impact area, so that we need to find out how much water level rise because of this rainwater harvesting. To recharge and groundwater through recharge pits along with the recharge shops, thereby increasing the groundwater levels. So we found almost 10-meter rise in the groundwater in our university because of this rainwater harvesting. Even quality parameters also we studied. In the fluoride, it was reduced from 1.5 to 1 ppm. And still a lot of scope is there to do it. So this is the built up area. This is all we done with the remote sensing data and with the land use land cover. Within a 1 hour you can prepare all this land use land cover. So this is the study area we have taken for this work. So total built up area is available for this scope of the work. So approximately 11,339 square meter building we have taken for collection of the rainwater. And this is the design parameters. And this is the total land use land cover in the study area. And we need to study what is the rainfall so that we can prepare the water balance, how much is available on monthly basis, so that we can find out what is the demand and what is the use and what is the surplus. We can prepare the balance, water balance. This is how the rainfall is available in Hyderabad. And we need also study how the drought situation is occurring in that particular campus, a particular study area. So this is the normal line, and this above we say it is a positive rainfall, and this is the negative rainfall. This is all with respect to the normal rainfall for a period of 25 years. And this is the trend line of the rainfall, and it shows that it is a decline in the rainfall. So as the quantity of water coming is less, so we should be more careful and we need to go for a more conservation methods to harvest the rain. This is the automatic water level recorder. This is the data available with us in the university before rainwater harvesting. So this is the maximum level and this is the minimum level. So it is approximately minimum is 16 feet, 16 meter, and it is a maximum is 27 meters. Now in our campus, this is the maximum and minimum is 1 meter. This is the built up area is available on with the name of the buildings. So we have selected part of it. So these are the total buildings. So these are the structures we proposed. Farm rainwater harvesting to take care about water falling other than the rooftop, and we have gone for 3 observation wells based on the Thies and polygon method, and we have a rooftop collection tanks at 2 places, 50,000 liters, rooftop harvesting with a 2 lakh liters for reuse purpose, and we have also 1 lakh liters structured at 3 places. This is the methodology we adopted in the for construction of the structures. So this is the observation wells. We have gone up to 3 bore wells constructed in that with that 100 feet deep, and this is the 50,000 liters structure for reuse purpose. Just collection it, filter it, then reuse it, and we need to give a provision if any water rainfall is coming excess than the design one, recharge it. So this all it is a detailed procedure even for 2 lakhs, and we are all monitoring with respect to the Indian standards. And this is the 1 lakh liters along with the recharge shops and supported with the side brick walls. So recharge shaft we have gone for 200 mm for injecting directly into the underground after filtration of the water which was collected from the rainfall. Okay, you can also do with abandoned bore wells. This is what it is the filtration system we have traditionally. This we have used GIS for a university, and we found this is the existing piezometer, and we have gone for another 3 piezometers to study, and outside also we are collecting the data to find out the difference between in the campus because of the rainwater injection and outside the campus. This is the drainage area in the campus available using the geometric techniques and vegetation area, and all these are the playgrounds available in the campus. These are the buildings. This all we can do in 1 hour using the remote sensing and GIS techniques. These are the piezometer location. These are the proposed and constructed RWA structures. This is our campus with all the land use land cover details. So this is the technical design structural point of view. This is a 2 lakh liters with 8-meter diameter, and it is a 8-meter height to store the water and reuse purpose. This is the structural design for 50,000 liters. And with all this, after construction of this, we monitoring from last 2 years, and these are the main structures with all the locations. Total 10 structures we constructed, and we monitoring. So if I take it is a one structure located near the library, this is the rainfall in 2002 and 2003. This is the quantity of the rainfall we harvested. 7 lakh liters in 2012 and 10 lakh liters on 2013 in one building only located near the library. Similarly, in another place, we harvest almost 8 lakh liters and 12.65 lakh liters. So total through the structure, the cost of the structure is 5.5 liters, and the total quantity we received roughly 22 lakh liters. And it is another place, so same cost, it is a 5.5 lakhs, and we received almost 11.5 lakh liters. That all depends on the catchment area or rooftop area. This is another place, almost we received 37.38 lakh liters. And this is the another place at 2000 in near the old quarters, 17 lakh liters roughly. And in 2012, total we harvested almost 78 lakh liters of water. After construction of another more structures in 2013, we harvested almost 1.1 crore liters, and we are planning to phase 2, phase 3. There we can store almost finally 5 crore liters of water we want to store for use purpose and recharge purpose. So this is the reuse purpose. So it is almost 4.5 lakhs liters we used in reused in a year. So this is the structural details and quantity of water rainfall stored. This is the groundwater level fluctuations. We monitor using the automatic piezometers on daily basis at different places in the recharge shafts as well as in the observation wells. So this is another place. So this is the place at near the Girls Hostel, how it is. As the rain is there, definitely it is recharging. Immediate day, because we are injecting directly, artificially we are doing, not naturally. So immediately the water level is increasing in the groundwater. If it is a static water level is this level, after injection rainfall mount will take place and it slowly disseminates. That depends on how much water we are taking using other bore wells. So we are also doing that because it is a project is under given on the demonstration purpose. We have so many channels visited, and it is published, telecasted in the TV channels, and so many newspapers. And these are the photos taken during the construction of the structures. This is how we are going to inject the water directly after filtration through the recharge shafts. Any questions?
Questions?
Thanks for the presentation. I think it's a really interesting idea to try to recycle rainwater. I just have a few questions over here. So first of all, I might have missed it. I was wondering for your case study, what is the size of the population that are benefit from this
Size of the population, students, we are saying 5,000 students.
So how much water would every
water we require roughly 30 crore liters water we require in a year. We are augmenting this through rainwater harvesting, only 3 crore liters till now, and we are planning for more. There is a scope is there to harvest the more rainwater.
So like when you allocate the water, how much water would every person receive?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
How much water would every person receive? When you
how much water every person receives? It is roughly 200 liters per student, 200 to 250 liters.
Per year or?
LPCD.
Sorry, what?
It is 200 to 250 liters we are providing to each student as LPCD, liters per day per capita.
Oh, okay. The other thing I was wondering, you kind of flashed through the filtering system. I was wondering, how do you deal with acid rain if you have any?
Sorry, again, can you repeat?
I was wondering about how do you deal with acid rain?
There is, till now, there is no acid rain in that area. Okay. If at all acid rain comes, we have a pus rain separators. We need to stop the water not to enter into the tanks. We have a pus rain separator. Okay. So first rain separator. So stop it and allow not to allow the water to store into the tanks.
Sure. All
The
right.
provision is there. As it is, there is no acid rain in the camp in the India, in at least in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay. Another thing I was wondering, I want to hear your thoughts on permeable pavement.
Hmm?
Permeable pavement. So, yeah.
Can you extend your question?
I want to hear your comment on the usage of permeable pavements. You know, like you have porous pavement that allow water infiltration into the soil.
Okay, that's very good question. So even if it is a land cover, it is a permeable like a forest and vegetation. In Hyderabad area, it is only 10 to 15 feet soil is available. After 10 feet, it is a hard rock area, right? In the initial days, when the rain is less and it is a soil is dry, the water is stored in the soil, right? And after some time, it reaches to the fully saturated condition. And as a geological strata, it is a granitic terrain after 10 feet. It doesn't allow the water to penetrate to underground. That is the reason why we are doing artificial recharge. Artificial recharge, it is just we are injecting through a pipeline. Even in the top is land cover is permeable, but it is only soil is recharging, not the groundwater. Only whenever it is soil is dry and the water is stored in that, after some time, if the rainfall is more, it is reaching to the fully saturated condition and it is overflowing. Natural recharge is not happening because it is a granitic terrain in the after 10 feet. So we have to inject it forcefully. Natural recharge is not happening, so we have to inject it forcefully so that we can recharge the underground aquifers.
Other questions?
Okay, so very nice presentation and very useful
Thank you, madam.
place. I just want to know, because you have shown that this artificial recharge is high in during this monsoon period, right?
Okay.
Yeah, June, July, and that. And so this is the time, because about 80% rainfall take place during that season. So my question is, how do we ensure that this increment is from artificial groundwater recharge, or is a natural?
Yeah, very good question.
Because the
yes,
groundwater is flowing,
yes,
right?
yes.
So this is
Yes. I think, see, this we are doing it is a artificial recharge, right? If I am doing the rainwater harvesting through the natural pit system, then it is maybe a natural recharge, pit recharge. Then parallelly through the soil moisture also it recharges. When I am doing pumping directly through a gravity, the water goes through this system only. Whatever the water collected nearby, we are guiding in such a way that it should go to the recharge pit. Once it is recharging there, directly we are injecting. Directly we are injecting, right? It is not through the if it is a natural recharge, and if you go for a natural recharge pit system, then some water maybe goes to the natural recharge and some water may be going to the recharge pit. But here we are creating a gradient in such a way that all the water, whatever it is there in the soil with high pressure, and here in the low pressure, water goes by gravity through this recharge system.
but
Still there may be a chance. Yes, that's true. That is the reason we are that is the reason to find out the difference between these two. We are measuring in the outside the campus also. Any rise through which is not affected area, and this is what it is effect or impact due to the rainwater harvesting.
And also we don't have previous data also. So
Yeah, previous data we have, but it is shown in one of the slide, piezometer data. This is the baseline data I have shown in that. Yes, this is the previous data, water levels before rainwater harvesting structures completed in the campus. This is the maximum level. It is on daily basis, even daily every half an hour we check, get the data automatically, and this is the lowest before rainwater harvesting structures. Now this is the maximum water level, that is around 50 or 16, 17 feet, and minimum is 10 feet. I hope I answered your question, right?
Other questions?
Do you consider the quality of the roofing materials
Okay.
in rainfall harvest?
Okay.
Because the quality of the roofing materials may also have a negative impact
Yes.
on the quality of water.
With respect to roof system, if you have a roof is clean and no need to go for a more filtration. If roof is not clean, then you need to go for a more filtration. Maybe you need to pass to the sand filter, or you can go for a disc filter. If you maintain the roof is clean before rainy season and you have a capacity to maintain the roof cleaner, then without much filtration, just after allowing for settling for some time, the sediments or the suspended material will settle, then you can use for the drinking purpose and all other. If your roof is not clean, then you can go for a disc filter, online filtration we say, or otherwise you can go for a sand filter.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about the cleanness of the roofing. I'm talking about the materials used for the roofing. Is it galvanized iron sheets?
Okay.
Is it asbestos? And
Okay.
those things that's what I'm referring to. Is it the roofing? Are they using the same quality of material?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We have not done studies on different type of roof material. We have taken only RCC roof. Even if it is a different roof materials, I don't know exactly, we have not studied on that, but if you maintain the surfaces clean, then quality of the rainwater is good. But we have studied only on the RCC roof structures.
I think we have,
Reinforced cement concrete.
we have one more question over here.
Reinforced cement concrete structures.
That was a very interesting
Oh,
technology.
thank you.
You said you're catching the water to prevent it from going to sea, correct?
Right.
But if it goes to sea, isn't it going to evaporate again into the air and come back down as rainwater?
Yeah.
So why should there be a problem going to sea? Couldn't another possibility be diverting it to a river in Hyderabad?
Mm-hmm. So, can you elaborate your question still more?
Couldn't another possibility be diverting it to a river
Okay.
instead of diverting to sea and waiting for the next
No,
evaporation cycle?
we are not diverting into the sea. That is the water cycle system.
Yes.
When water falls on a rooftops, other than rooftops, initially flows to a smaller layer, then fills the depressions, then goes to the small canal, then joins into the main course, main rivers, then goes and joins into the sea.
Yes.
It is a natural phenomena.
Yes.
We are not diverting the water. We are only just stopping some of the rainwater, and we are asking the rainwater to go inside for our purposes. That's all. We are not diverting the rainwater.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Another hand.
Thank you.